Oh, is the garbage deck activated? Go get it deck. You know what? If it was, I'll switch to it. That's actually perfect. Absolutely perfect. All right. So Cakes' garbage deck activate is going to be this spooky go get a Hecarim one. This one I imagine is definitely going to be a bit weaker, but it's also a lot more interesting. In this one, we abuse really heavily the ephemeral keyword. Ephemeral means the unit's only going to survive one turn. So for example, like this Darkwater Scourge, super powerful unit. It's a 3-mana 5/5 with lifesteal, crazy card, but it only lasts for one turn, right? It doesn't last long. And, you know, we have a few tools to kind of like support that type of game plan. For example, Deathmark is an adorable card that transfers the ephemeral keyword from an ally to an enemy, which is really, really strong in specific times. You would think that like just releasing 5 cards into the game wouldn't really change that much. And I mean, it didn't shake up the meta like a ton. It's not like everything's different, but like 3 out of the 5 new cards are completely viable. And the 4th one is something that is probably gonna be decent one day. 5th one's garbage. We don't talk about the 5th one. Nobody cares about Kaisa's card. The KDA cards did more for the meta than the second Targon set TBH. Yeah, exactly. Which is really funny to say. But it's true, actually. Fizz. Hang on a second. That's not right. So this is Spooky Karma. And there it goes. Alright, great. So that was the garbage deck activate. Play until you get 1 win. We're climbing. So that was a weird, I think, disconnect bug. The reason it froze for a couple seconds at the start, basically there was some weird like desync or disconnect. He didn't connect properly, so it looked like he just conceded at the very, very start. So I watched you since Gwent. Hi, my friends. Oh, hello. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of like Spooky Karma. I think Alan was playing it earlier too. Okay, so we've got Palm, we've got 2 Harrowings. This is gonna be a lot harder of a deck to win with. Wow, this is a really weak matchup too. Ooh, yikes. Let's try to get a little bit of early aggression here. So the thing about Spooky Karma is it's a slow deck that gets really powerful later. We need to kind of like kill it before it comes online, which is unfortunately really difficult to do with this deck because this is not a very fast deck. This is not a very fast deck. Make a deck with the 5th card. I mean, I could mess around with the PNZ one. I've played literally all the cards except for the Targon one. And honestly, I kind of refuse to play the Targon one because it's not a real card. Also, I like this KDA board with the music. I think it's really cool. I think it's a sweet thing. I like how in Legends of Runeterra the cosmetic boards have different music. That being said, you might hear my chat complain about it, and rightfully so, because when you listen to it for literal days, you do get sick of it. I mean, that's expected. But you can actually change the song. There's like different songs you can like toggle here, which is really fun.
So young.
How do we change the song? There's this like slider down here. You can rotate between the different songs. Okay, we'll play Kalista here. So Kalista also has this really neat fearsome keyword. She's a spooky girl, and because Elise, you know, doesn't have 3 attack, theoretically we might be able to get some damage in here. Ooh, that's nice. So fearsome, only 2 attack means we can't get blocked there. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Our hand is pretty bad. I'm not liking where we are right now. It's gonna be, I think, pretty tricky to win this game, boys. Eee. Oh dear. We're getting skittered. Man, there's a lot of Shadow Isles today. Maybe I should switch off. I think I'll switch off after this game anyway. Because I've been playing like this fearsome strategy a lot right now. So, this River Shaper kind of has to die. I'm pretty forced into blocking like this. Taking a bit of damage here, which is, by the way, you know the game's going poorly when we're supposed to be the aggressor and we're kind of like losing the early game? That's not a good sign. Not great. Yeah, I think this version of the deck, so this is just the garbage deck activate. This is just like the chat submitted deck. I think like ephemerals are a very tricky deck to build. Awkward. And this is one of the new KDA cards, Go Hard, which people are running in Spooky Karma. Go Hard is a pretty interesting one. It's a cheap card. It only drains 1 from a unit, and it's at slow speed. But every time you use it, it shuffles 2 copies of itself in your deck. And when you've cast it 3 times, it turns into Pack Your Bags, which is another song lyric. And that nukes the entire board for 5 damage at 1 mana, which is actually kind of crazy. I think we might have no choice but to just play the other Kalista here. Wow, this hand is pretty awkward. We're really not doing much. You should pack your bags for the game. Yeah, I don't think this one's winnable, guys. We're playing a deck that's definitely quite a bit weaker than the rank we're queued into right now. All these tryhards. What can I do? Yeah, this looks lost. Like, his deck has some real inevitability that he's gonna start slamming on us. Should use Dark Water. You can't really be using Dark Water with Deathmark so early in this kind of game. We need to try to get like a valuable target for it here. We can't be aggressive. We have to be patient. Like, we can't just move in with our options. Okay, here we go. Always had a thing for ephemerals with the sharks. Ephemerals were always like a really interesting archetype to me. It's a shame how awkward they are. I mean, 7's fine, right? Yeah, I see no issue here. Looks good. So we can kind of like trade down the board a little bit. Kalista is actually a pretty cute card. Once she's seen 3 allies die, there's 1, there's 2, then she'll level up. And her level up allows her to like resummon allies as ghosts, which can actually be really adorable sometimes. Crawling Sensation. So he's trying to level up his champion here at least.
Struggle. Now enjoy.
I could go in to try to kill it with the Scourge here. This is one turn where I have like slightly higher odds of success. Yeah, I think I'm forced into it here. That's a little awkward. So a Deny would shut this down pretty hard. Or a Nopify. I don't know how many versions of the deck are running Nopify. And here's the power of Deathmark. I take my ephemeral keyword and I give it to him. So his unit dies instead of mine. Which is, in theory, very, very powerful for a 3-mana card. But the weakness of it is it's extremely disruptible. Right? Which can be, yeah, sometimes just no good. So here, we just kind of have to take our attack while we have it. So the thing to understand about Runeterra is, like, this is part of the nuance of the alternating action system, is one of the most skill testing things in the game is deciding whether to open attack or develop into your attack. If we play this Rekindler, for example, we get to summon another Kalista and threaten a lot more damage. But the only problem with that is we give the opponent an action at the same time, right? And we have to weigh, like, is our action worth giving him an action before the attack? Because every turn when we're trying to deal pressure, it's going to go to a combat. And the big problem with playing the Rekindler earlier here is that we give him the ability to potentially develop, you know, a good blocker. Or more scarily, like, nuke our board with something like Ruination. Which now he can no longer play because he's committed the Karma. Feels a bit better taking the Rekindler now. I might have to. Karma is usually what we end up trying to save Dark Water Scourge Deathmark for. I don't think we had the ability to save it there for that. But that's why I didn't play it so early. Because we do want to have the ability to, like, at least try to punish the Karma coming down. Karma is one of the stronger things in his deck, and it's kind of what makes it so good in the late game. Because Karma not only generates a few random spells for free, but when it reaches 10 max mana, so on turn 10 here, it'll double every spell he plays, which is really scary. I drew all 3 Kalistas here. Yeah, I mean, we have a pretty decent attack. So I'll play the Dark Water Scourge here. So the reason I played the Dark Water Scourge is a little weird. But basically, Kalista's level up condition is allies dying, right? So Kalista will level up if the Dark Water Scourge dies here. And the thing about Kalista is because it's the same, I have 2 Kalistas on board. And because I had 1 Kalista level up, the other one levels up too. So because I played the Scourge, now I have both of my Kalistas are leveled up, which is really nice. And I can attack threatening quite a lot more. So now the way leveled Kalista works is when a leveled Kalista attacks, it resurrects the strongest ally as a ghost, which is the Darkwater Scourge that I just sacrificed by playing it when so I played it, it died to its ephemeral immediately, leveling up the Kalista, and then both Kalistas resurrect that same Scourge. It actually gets cloned effectively, because even though it was just the one Scourge, it got resurrected twice. So we're threatening a lot of damage off of this one, which is nice, right? And this is the benefit of this kind of open attack. Usually he'll be able to stay alive with a spell here. That's going to be something like Withering Wail, Grasp, or Vengeance. Okay, so he takes the Vengeance here, and he takes a Go Get It, which is kind of interesting. What that means is like his karma effectively just gets replaced there, right? I don't think there's any cute thing I can do here. I mean, if I were to Go Get It the Rekindler, I basically turn the Go Get It into a Kalista, and he's getting the karma back into his hand. I mean, he doesn't have the ability to ruinate me here. So yeah, I think we can just do that. So this is a really weird turn. So the spells are going to reapply in reverse chronological order, and I can summon this Kalista to the board in the same spot as my Rekindler. I guess I'll just do this, and you know, we'll see what happens. But basically, my Go Get It's going to activate now. This is going to return the Rekindler to my hands, summon a new Rekindler, and because Rekindler has a summon ability, it's going to trigger again, which will resurrect Kalista. It'll clone Kalista again, and give me the Rekindler in hand. Now his Go Get It's going to activate, which will send the karma back to his hand. It'll effectively clone his karma, but the first karma is going to die right away to my attack. And now his Vengeance will activate, killing my first Darkwater Scourge. So he goes down to 4, but now my board has 3 Kalistas on it, and in my hands I've got this Rekindler here. Now I could play this round, it costs 0 this round. Wow, he just played the karma? Does that mean he can't ruinate? Am I getting trolled? I guess I'll just kill this then, eh? Good thing I drew all 3 Kalistas. So this is Kalista's Black Spear. This is why it's so powerful having champions turn into their spells instead of more champions. Like, that Black Spear was kind of integral there. So I'll keep the Rekindler in my hand, because even though it's 7 mana if I wait, I can't let him ruinate me. His deck runs this card. 9 mana, wipe the entire board, right? So even though it's tempting to play it for 0 mana, I need to have it in my hand as a backup in case he does that. And Drawing Deny is nice, because Drawing Deny actually does change that. It means we can actually play around that Ruination, and we might just be able to attack into him with these 4 Kalistas for lethal. Looks like we actually did okay this game. It should be on lock here. I mean, these Kalistas, the ability to level up the Kalista and clone the Kalista is really, really spooky and really, really powerful. And it just puts on so much pressure. I mean, that attack last turn forced him into such an awkward position. We had so much pressure off that attack that just to stay alive, he had to play something he really didn't want to. So now he's only at 7 mana. I mean, my Kalistas are already, you know, rezzing a full board. Is there even a reason to Rekindler here? Ooh, a Go Hard. Okay. I don't think that's doing too much here.
Engulf them. What form will the waters take? The waters are still.
I mean, now that he's down to 6 mana, I guess I can attack with Kalistas that don't feed to Grasp, but he really just can't survive this attack here. There's kind of no point for it. I have to assume his hand is like, yeah, he's got all the Go Hards. So this is his 3rd Go Hard, which means now that he plays this Go Hard, all of the rest of his Go Hards turn into the scary card, Pack Your Bags. So if he has another one in hand, he can nuke our entire board here. It's just an Encroaching Shadows. Oh, he's trolling. That's such a bait. He wants me. I'll take him up on that. Oh, he actually played the 1 mana. What a shame. All right, so we win. Yeah, it's a shame we didn't get to do that last attack. I wanted to triple attack with those Kalistas, resurrecting the big scary ghosts again for the lethal. But yeah, we take another game there. Feels pretty good. So yeah, that's Go Get It. You were able to see how it worked that game. It's a very weird card. It's super powerful, but right now it's not dominating the meta. It hasn't really found like a big synergy that's super worth it. It's like, it's a solid card. It exists on the competitive level, but in theory it has even more potential someday. Like this is a really, really scary scalable card.